Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be the reasons you stayed in the relationship. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So I'll jump right into it. You were in the narcissistic relationship for a period of time. Perhaps you're still in it. You're looking to exit it. This is the first video you're consuming. If that's the case, God bless you. You are on to finding yourself, and you are on to discovering exactly where you're meant to be, which is not with the narcissist. So some of the reasons you stayed in the relationship, let's dig in. First of all, perhaps you got married. Now, when you took your wedding vows, I am certain that you believed they were of a binding agreement, meaning you were in love and you believed that that other individual was in love with you and you were going to be headed in the same direction, perhaps creating a family, perhaps growing old together and helping each other, being there for each other throughout thick and thin. Remember, in goodness and in health. Sometimes people take vows that include that sentence or those words. That's what marriage is supposed to be about. At least that's what you were taught or you believed when you were younger. Now, when we were in the relationship, let's say that you were married, that's the last thing that was on the mind of the narcissist. The narcissist was thinking, okay, I now have this person, which was you. I got them to fall in love with me, and now they put a wedding ring on my finger. I now have a license to abuse. I now can play my game the best I want to, and I'm gonna string this person along as I possibly can. What that means is I now can be the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde person that I can be, but with a specific individual, which was you. I will now abuse you behind closed doors. I will gaslight you. I will have you not believing in yourself. I will give you the silent treatment when I don't feel like paying attention to you, or when perhaps you've gotten out of line. I will ghost you, meaning I will not reply or respond to your texts when you're asking where I am, who I'm with, what I'm doing. I will be mentally checked out perhaps, but physically present with you at times. Meaning, yes, I will make it seem as if I care about you. And every once in a while, I'll throw a breadcrumb of hope or of fake love to you. But I will keep you around as long as I possibly can. And then when I go outside to the exterior world, I will put on my game face and the mask, and I will try to look for your replacement. That is exactly what I will do. And because you married me, remember, I'm the narcissist now. In real life, I'm not, but just you get it. Now I can actually look for other sources of supply. And I will triangulate you with these people if I so choose. I will mentally abuse you. I will mentally be playing mind games with you. I will create so much disruption in your life that I will make sure that you get physically sick. Yes, I do mean that, because the pressure of the narcissistic relationship, there are so many things that happen, and one of them is your physical abilities. They begin to depreciate. But that's one reason you may have stayed in the relationship, because you got married. Another reason would be perhaps you had children together, whether you were married or not, that doesn't matter for this video. The point is you had kids together. So you believe that staying together in the relationship would be best for the kids. The thing is, the kids are now, let's say 3 and 5, and you're looking at the calendar saying, wow, I have to be in this relationship for another 13 years approximately. Wow, what am I gonna do there? Or 15 years? That is a decision you'll have to make. But see, the narcissist knows this, because now that you have kids with them, again, the mask probably slipped shortly after you had children with them, maybe, maybe not. But the point is, they knew that you're now financially bound to raise the kids. And again, this is a whole different video series I should create. But the point is, when you are a parent of children and your spouse and or ex-spouse is the narcissist, that's very challenging, because the more time those kids spend with the narcissist, the more likelihood or possibility, I should say, that they turn out like the narcissist. Because the narcissists, remember, they want to disrupt people's energy. They want people to become like them. That's what they want to do. They want to have people vibrate low down in the quagmire with them. And kids are no exception. But you are trying to prevent that. You're trying to spend more time with the kids. But again, the whole thing is perhaps you stayed in the relationship because of children. Another reason you may have stayed in the relationship is because you became financially dependent upon the narcissist. Now, perhaps the narcissist told you, hey, don't worry about it. Quit your job. I'll support you financially. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Just, you be the stay-home mom or dad, or you just take care of this, this, and this, and I'll work. It's fine. I can do it. And you're thinking, wow, how fortunate am I? This is great. I don't have to go to work. and I can actually, my spouse is going to take care of me and the family financially, That sounds all good in the beginning, doesn't it? It does, until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, that's when you're like, oh my gosh, I now don't have any credit cards under my name. The house probably isn't under my name. I don't even have an electricity or phone bill under my name. I am completely non-existent, and I am reliant on this person, my spouse, who turned out to be a narcissist, for virtually everything. And now I have to ask them for financial resources to buy basic necessities, things like perhaps shampoo, food, clothes, things like that. And every time I ask them, they get nastier and nastier. I'm talking about the narcissist, because they don't want to have me existing properly. They want me to be barely surviving. But the thing is, nobody knows this on the exterior but me. So when we go out, I put on my game face like everything's going fine, because I don't know what I'm up against. I don't know I'm being trapped in the narcissistic fog. I do know I'm being held a financial prisoner to this person who turned out to be the narcissist. But this was how they wanted it all along. I just couldn't see it in advance because I didn't know narcissism existed. So that's another reason why you may have stayed in the relationship, because you are and or were financially dependent on the narcissist. Think about it. This is what the narcissist wants to do. Before I continue the list, I'll share this. The narcissist wants you to become an extension of them. The narcissist wants you to do things for them. The narcissist wants you to lose your identity, lose your sense of self, having you turn to them for virtually anything, from a basic decision to clothes that you need to buy, and who you see and who you don't see. Remember, before you met the narcissist, you probably had a large social circle of friends, family members, hobbies, things like that. And when you met the narcissist, they made sure they drove a wedge in between you and anything that mattered to you. And financial abuse is one of them. They made sure you became reliant on them. Another reason why perhaps you stayed in the relationship is, let's say you're waiting to get divorced. Now, this is with a caveat. You're not necessarily in the relationship, because perhaps you're separated, or perhaps you're living under the same roof but in different rooms. In other words, now you are still married, but you went from the romantic relationship to the friendship / toxic narcissistic relationship. In other words, you're not intimate anymore, and you're just existing under a roof. Many people are like that. They figure out that the person they're with is a narcissist or a toxic individual, and they move into a different room in the house. It's not good. I mean, you need to do that at times, but the point is, the narcissist is still getting supply from you, because most likely they have you so beaten down that you probably can't get your own apartment or move out, or perhaps you don't have resources, things like that. That's exactly where they want you. And you may think, who would do that? A narcissist. Believe me when I tell you. They want you a captive, a prisoner in your own home. Think about it. It's exactly what they do. But if you're waiting for the divorce, that's another thing, because what happens there is you're expecting the divorce to go rather quickly. And we know by now that divorcing the narcissist goes anything but quickly, unless it benefits them, and that's like a 1% chance. Usually it's dragged out long, months, weeks, months, years. It really is, because it's not due to the system necessarily, although that has some flaws in it. What it has to do with is all of the narcissist games and the tomfoolery that they administer. In other words, they tell their lawyer, hey, don't respond to that, we'll wait it out, or what happens if I don't do this. Or many times they don't even listen to the lawyer because they believe they know more than the lawyer. Think about it. You're dealing with a narcissist. So divorcing the narcissist is a challenging experience, to say the least, and usually it takes a lot of time. And they play the long game because they want to beat you down, because they want to get as much of the resources from you to make sure A, you don't have them, but B, that they feel like they won, and C, because they know that if they play the long waiting game, that they can wait you out. That's what they plan on, usually, not always. And that's exactly why the narcissist wants to control money in the beginning or throughout the relationship, because they know if you don't have the resources, financially that is, that you're kind of backed into a corner. And this is all on purpose, believe me when I tell you. Another reason that you may have stayed in the relationship would be because you thought that this individual would change. You thought that if you continued to give your love, your empathy, your time, your energy, everything, that they would improve and that they would change. Many times also the individual, i.e. the narcissist, will tell you, yes, I want to go to therapy, I want to work on myself, I want to do exactly, I want this to work out. That is just lip service. Now, do they go to therapy? Maybe. Does it work? Doubt it, because you're dealing with a narcissist who knows more than the therapist, and many times when they're dealing with the therapist is manipulated because they don't even know what they're up against, i.e. a narcissist. Play it again, it's a fact. Not all the time, but this happens. But you believed that this person would change, or that you could change them. In other words, you were believing in the false narrative of the mask, or perhaps your religious beliefs or your core beliefs is somebody that you don't want to give up on. You think that you need to help them and you need to help improve their life and their status and give everything you can. Well, that is old mentality thinking. If you want my opinion, you need to save yourself. And side note, if you've identified that you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you need to run for the hills, block them, go no contact, delete them, remove all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If you can't, utilize Gray Rock, which is a whole different topic. But the point is, just become boring and don't share information about yourself. Another reason you may have stayed in the relationship is because you relocated. In other words, let's say that you lived in one part of the world and the narcissist picked you up and had you move halfway around the globe or to a different region, and now you're isolated, and you figured out quickly that now you're dependent upon the narcissist for so many things, so many day-to-day things, and you don't have a support network around you because they moved you on purpose, promising you the moon and the stars, but what they really wanted to do was to have you wither away behind the four walls of the house that you're living in, apart from your social circle, your network, anything that's familiar with you. This is isolation. That's what they want. And they wanted you to not thrive. Let's put it that way. There are so many reasons why you stayed in the relationship. Many reasons are because you didn't know what narcissism was. In other words, if you had known, and I share this on the channel frequently, when you enter the relationship with the narcissist, if you had known who they were, meaning a narcissist, you would have, and they gave you a 2-page report and said, read this, this is what I'm going to do to you, and this is what I'm capable of doing to you, you would have said thank you, but no thank you. There are 8 billion people on the planet. I'll look for a relationship elsewhere. But that's not what they did. What they did is they literally fooled you under guise of being one person, and they turned out to be somebody else. Another reason you may have stayed in the relationship is because you are part of a family, and perhaps your sibling and or mom or dad is a narcissist. Think about this. Now, why you would stay in the relationship, I'm not saying you necessarily live under the same roof, although maybe you do. I'm suggesting that you still keep in contact with these people, or let's say the narcissist, whoever that is, because you don't want to become the next target. And you have figured out over time that anytime you rock the boat, in other words, anytime you stand up for yourself or speak the truth or call them out, it doesn't go well for you, because now you have perhaps not only the narcissist attacking you, but the extended family members or your siblings or whomever. In other words, you probably are the white sheep or the black sheep, however you want to call it. In other words, you are probably an empath or the one person in the family that has value, but you still maintained a part of a relationship with this person, the narcissist, because perhaps they guilted you into it. Maybe it's your mom and she's saying, I gave birth to you. You know, I was there for you all this time. You need to give back to me. You need to start giving me money, or you need to pay attention to me, or you need to listen to me, things like that. Well, then you zoom out for a minute. You're like, wait a minute. Yeah, you gave me life. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. But I'm not going to be paying you back for the rest of my life just because you did that, number one. But number two, every time I communicate with you, I'm being told how invaluable I am and how much of a horrible person I am, or how much I could have done so much better with my life. In other words, you're not building me up. You're tearing me down. So that's another reason why people stay in these relationships, because one of their family members, let's say it's their mom or dad, is belittling them, and they feel guilted into communicating with them or giving them money or paying them bills, etc. Really think about it. There are so many different reasons why you stay in these relationships. The final reason why you may stay in the relationship is because perhaps you loaned them money, or you bought them a house and put the mortgage under your name, although under their name, but you're paying for it, something like that. Point being there is, I can almost promise you that money's long gone. I'm not trying to trigger you or upset you, but the narcissist loves money more than just about anything, and they love your money more than they love their own money. And many times the narcissist doesn't even have money because it's your money that they're living on. But that's another reason why, because you perhaps are tethered to them through that asset or that house or whatever it is. And that's another reason, like, you want to leave, you know who they are, you want to get out of there as fast as possible, but you need to get your ducks in a row before you can do so. And you're not even sure if the house is under your name. There's just so many reasons why people stay in these relationships. Now here's the key. The key is, if you've identified that this person is a toxic individual and or a narcissist, and you have the ability to leave, I strongly suggest you do so. You don't do it without having a plan. You don't do it any other way than in your time. In other words, don't rush things. Figure out how you want to methodically plan to your escape or your exit. And if you can do it, do it. Slowly remove yourself from the relationship. That's the path. But the idea is this: if you've identified who this person is and you have the ability to change your circumstances or the trajectory of your life, you should do so. If not, you're not living your life, and you're not being honest or true to yourself. What you're doing is you're living their life. You're being abused more and more. And believe me, this is death by 1,000 paper cuts. It adds up over time. Every time you hear their voice, every time you watch the darkness of the pupils of their eyes, every time you hear their snicker, every time you watch their grin, every time they triangulate you, every time they're on the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning getting sources of supply and other social media outlets, every time they come home late, every time they gaslight you, every time they tell you they're going to do A, B, and C, and they do X, Y, and Z, every time they don't listen to you, every time they invalidate you, every time that front door opens. Think about it. It is so powerful. So those are some of the reasons why you stay in the relationship. But when you understand what you are up against, you need to leave. You need to really understand what your value is on this planet. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware and understand you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. God bless you. I love you. You are not alone. And remember, take action. If not now, when? If not now, when? Today is the day to turn your life around. Begin making positive changes that benefit you. God bless you. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.